your forecast first with the KX Storm Team.
Well, we've certainly clouded up out there. We started off with some sunshine, and now those thick clouds are moving in. If you haven't seen the thick cloud cover yet, you will. Take a look at the satellite and the radar. As you can see there, we've got a few breaks with some thinner clouds, but for the most part, cloud cover has moved in, and we're starting to see some flurries move in from the northwest. A lot of that moisture will move in mostly overnight tonight, but a few of us could see a little bit of light snow as we head into the afternoon. I will explain. Temperatures right now are mostly in the teens and 20s, already way warmer than we were yesterday. We'll land mostly in the 30s. But coming up, I'll tell you more about what we're seeing this week. We've got chances for snow that could accumulate and also warmer daytime highs. This is KX News at noon, and it begins right now.
Coming up, hundreds and thousands of lives are taken by opioid-related drug overdoses, and we'll look into the origin of the opioid crisis. Plus, it's a daily choice, and it can be a difficult choice. We'll hear from Nikki Johnson live on the first 90 days of sobriety. And
I'm Tim Olson, live from Recovery Reinvented, with the story of a unique problem rural North Dakotans face trying to get sober.
Putting North Dakota first. KX News at noon starts now.
good afternoon, and thanks for watching a special KX News report at noon. I'm Alicia Huck. At KX News, we are putting North Dakota first, shining the spotlight on addiction and recovery through our Road to Recovery series. Going on right now is the third annual Recovery Reinvented event, which is an event centered around breaking the stigma of addiction and providing hope to overcome it. Tim Olson is live at the event right now and has much more on the state of addiction and recovery in North Dakota and the unique challenges we face. Tim?
Yeah, hi, Alicia. I'm here at the Bismarck Event Center, the third annual Recovery Reinvented event, the biggest yet. It's been very busy here. Lots of folks walking into and out of expos and speeches and keynotes, all sorts of things happening today. Well, for months, KX News has been bringing you stories of addiction and people overcoming addiction. It's an illness that pits your mind and your body against you as you fight for your life. And it's a long road. And for many North Dakotans out there, it's literally a long road. Renee Cooper tells us how many people have to travel many miles and spend a lot of time just trying to start their road to recovery.
Nobody ever, no mom ever looks at her children and promises them that she's not going to drink again and then walks out of their lives, and wanting so desperately to stop but not being able to.
Wendy Zimprich has been on the move since she took her first drink at 14. Prescriptions and hard drugs followed quickly.
I was a very angry, bitter 14-year-old. I was upset at the world. I thought that the life had treated me unfairly, and the more relief I found, the more I wanted,
Years later, she landed in Center for a while, where her mom took care of her kids while she made multiple attempts at sobriety. Ultimately, it took a move to the capital city to find real change.
Homeless, jobless, with 3 kids, and desperately wanting a solution to the problem.
When you're out here and there's no one around for miles, no one who can help you, just imagine how hard it would be to pick up your things, get in your car, and travel for hours. And along that journey, just praying you don't lose that conviction and that you don't think twice about your decision to get sober.
If you even have transportation, or even if you have, would you even be able to find somebody to take you?
Chelsea Luger has lived most of her life in Fort Yates on the Standing Rock Reservation, where she says drinking and doing drugs was the norm.
It's just what we did when we were young. The towns are very small, but there's a bar in almost every one of them.
For Luger and her friends, there were little consequences for their actions.
There wasn't a lot of law enforcement. It was just we could sit in parking lots and drink and party. They would come and break us up, and we would just move to another spot.
And if you wanted to get help on the reservation, AA meetings were available just once a week.
If you live in Cannonball, which is 20 minutes north of Fort Yates, and there's a meeting in Little Eagle, which is about 40 minutes south of Fort, that's an hour drive, to get from one place to another. Up here in Bismarck, I have meetings I can go to all day long. all day long.
Lugar moved here to Bismarck because she had to. She was thrown in jail for the 3rd time. The judge took a chance on her, sent her to treatment, and she's officially been on the road to recovery for 5 proud months.
Like, had I been able to go back to Fort Yates from treatment, you know, I'm sure I would have fallen off already. I'm like almost positive.
I drive through a small town and I'm like, oh, this is just so beautiful here. I just want to move back to a small town again, but I know that I would not be able to.
Renee Cooper, KX News.
Now, Lugar and Zimprich say that awareness about how serious addiction is a big part of the problem here in North Dakota. Zimprich says where she comes from, many people don't even realize that they have an illness. As for Lugar, she says with awareness will come more funding to help those that she grew up with find the same peace that she has found. Well, we are joined now by one of our reporters here at KX News, our digital reporter, Nikki Johnson. Nikki, you've been out here all morning since Recovery Reinvented started. What are you seeing out here?
And it has been really inspiring so far. I mean, there's several hundred people walking through these doors, whether they're medical professionals, people in active recovery, or people just looking to get plugged into the recovery community.
Yeah, big event. And one of the main things that's been talked about is committing to recovery. Talk to me about the importance of the first 90 days of recovery.
Yeah, that's right, Tim. Starting the road to recovery from drugs and alcohol is a vital step in someone's recovery process. It's a daily choice that we have to make, and what some might not know is the importance of those first 90 days. The National Sober Living Association works closely with treatment facilities and court systems to ensure people stay clean and sober long term. That is, if they choose the sober living route in recovery. If so, the NSLA makes it a point to take that person from treatment or jail and place them directly in a sober living environment. How you treat yourself during the first 90 days of your recovery will set the tone for how the rest of this process will go.
You know, we have a ringside seat to the absolute successes and unfortunately the absolute tragedies. But I think it's important to shed light on both because if an individual chooses to take action, their life is just beginning. If they don't, it's a powerful reminder of what this disease can do.
Relapse is at its highest rate in the first 90 days, and Frankel says without the right partnerships, someone could get lost in the shuffle, and that is why it's so important to get involved with sober living right away.
Yeah, can't overstate the importance. Nikki, we appreciate the reporting you've been doing out here. Thank you. Well, finding a job when you have recovered from addiction and you're working to recover can also be a challenge. But as it turns out, recovery-friendly workplaces do exist. It's all about networking and finding the right spot for you. Sarah Bachmeyer is someone we spoke with. She is an independent care coordinator at Independence Inc. in Minot. She's been sober for 3 years. Now, as someone with a criminal background, she said that what most often one of the biggest barriers for many people is that criminal background. At Independence Inc., the executive director looks right past that. He says his goal is hiring is to focus on what employees can do based on their history and their skill set rather than what they cannot do. They've gone through that process.
Finding the right person with the right work ethic, the right story, the right knowledge and skills and abilities. And if that person happens to be a person in recovery or a person with some other sort of work barrier, it's in my benefit to make it work with them.
Now, Burlingame also stresses the importance of creating the best work environment that he can to give employees time to get appointments and maintain recovery. You can head to our website, kxnet.com, if you'd like to see the full story about finding recovery-friendly workplaces near you. Alicia, like I said, there's a lot going out here, and at about 12:25, we'll come back here to talk about one of the most important tools in helping someone in the throes of addiction. That's naloxone. We'll get into that at about 12:25. For now, I'll send it back to you.
Okay, thank you very much for that report, Tim. Well, prescription drug abuse has already claimed hundreds of thousands of lives. So how did this happen? Well, in 1996, the pharmaceutical company Purdue Pharma introduced a drug called OxyContin to the market, and that's when it was marketed as sort of a miracle pill. Now, Purdue sales reps played up its long-lasting pain relief compared to Percocet or Vicodin, and they downplayed the risk for abuse or addiction. Kaiser Health made public Purdue's marketing plans for OxyContin from that time. It was touted as the one to start with and the one to stay with. Purdue doubled its sales force and flew doctors to all expenses paid conferences to convince them to prescribe OxyContin. And it worked. In 1997, about 670,000 prescriptions were written, and by 2002, 6.2 million prescriptions. And OxyContin became the most prescribed brand name opioid in the country for moderate or severe pain. Now, this laid the groundwork for what we now call the opioid crisis. Regular folks like you and me would go to the doctor for pain, and we'd leave with a prescription for an opioid such as OxyContin or Vicodin. Eventually, that prescription would run out, and some would experience withdrawal symptoms or crave more. So we'd try to get more, or we'd turn to alternatives, and in some cases, heroin or fentanyl, forever changing lives and ending others. Since 1999, about 200,000 people have died of an overdose involving prescription opioids. In 2017 alone, about 17,000 people died in that way. That number has started to stabilize in recent years. Now, still to come on KX News, addiction reaches far and wide, impacting all of those close to the person struggling with the disease. But there is help, and we'll explain that at 12:21. Plus, Amber will tell us when we'll climb out of the deep freeze. It's all straight ahead.
Watch Veterans Voices, honoring those who served, each night on KX News at 10.
Hello, cattlemen. This is Bismarck Livestock Auction in Bismarck, North Dakota. We want to welcome all the ranchers in the region to our new facility on 80th Street, Northeast Bismarck. With over 100 years combined experience, we would love to market your cattle the best in the most modern way possible.
People don't realize just how much they're missing until they finally can hear.
Experience listening so realistic and natural, you might forget you're even wearing a hearing aid.
If you can't hear your grandkids, what's the real object? If you can get some technology to help you hear those grandkids so you don't just have to say yes or no and not even know what they ask, that changes the world.
Miracle Year in Bismarck.
First Western Bank and Trust is a born and raised North Dakota bank, doing life right here in Bismarck.
Locally owned, locally operated. And all decisions are made right here.
By people you know, who know you.
And because you're here, there's no place else we'd rather be.
We'd rather be.
At First Western, we're not just here for you.
We are you.
First Western Bank and Trust. You can bank on us.
Every year, 300 to 400 physicians in the U.S. die from suicide, nearly one every day.
Addiction does not discriminate. Medical providers are affected by mental illness and substance use disorders at the same rate as the general population. Approximately 20% will be affected throughout their lifetime. If you are a medical provider and you are concerned about your use of drugs or alcohol, or you are concerned about your mental health, please do not wait until this is affecting your professional life. Contact the NDPHP. We're here to help.
DHI St. Alexius Health Great Plains Rehabilitation Services, offering orthotic and prosthetic services for patients with limitations.
Now, your local weather with the KX Storm Team.
And good afternoon. Temperatures are much warmer today than they were yesterday, but something I wanted to show you was what happened with the really cold temperatures yesterday. That Arctic air over the really warm water really did a number on Lake Sakakawea. I got a lot of pictures, and this one came into my inbox from Christina, and she was, looks like driving over 83 there, and you can see there that steam fog that comes off of the lake there. It also creates some clouds, and yesterday we did have some lake-induced clouds and even some over the river yesterday. With that Arctic air flowing over that relatively warm water certainly causes for some beautiful sights out there. Here's the KX cam in Minot. Lots of cloud cover has already streamed in. Same story in Williston, as you can see here on this KX cam. Temperatures are only going to be in the 30s for most of us for today. And really to say only in the 30s is kind of underestimating the warmth we're going to feel today, because yesterday a lot of us stayed in the single digits. In fact, some 20s up towards the northeast and some 40s in the southwest. And I will show you a map here that shows you exactly how warm you will get today in just a second. But we are seeing some radar returns come in with these clouds at this point. So if you're in the north, you could see maybe a few light snow showers this afternoon. And that's going to be ahead of kind of a bigger system here, and it's really not going to be necessarily a dramatic system, but it's the bigger system that will give us a chance for snow overnight tonight. But here are the temperatures. Right now we're 24 in Minot, 19 in Bismarck, 31 in Dickinson, and 26 rather in Williston. Still some teens off towards the northeast. Excuse me. Wind chills, not too much of a bother here, but mostly all above zero. Sorry about that. We've got wind speeds that are shifting to become westerly, around 10 to 15 miles per hour. Certainly kind of a breezy one out there for some, as we've seen some upper teens for those numbers as well. But 20s off towards the northeast, 30s for central North Dakota, and much warmer down towards the southwest. So we have a 20-degree temperature swing for many for today. And with that warmer day, we've actually had a warmer overnight. We're not going to plummet tonight as much as we have been over the last few nights. And I've got the snow icons turned on here because, well, we have a chance for some snow. And that's going to come mostly this evening. Now, we could see a few light snow showers out ahead of that kind of larger system here, and you already saw that on the radar. But overnight tonight, we'll bring in some snow and possibly get a bit of a mix in the areas where we're still going to cool there. But this is going to give us anywhere between a trace and an inch, possibly up to 2 inches in some areas. I really just don't see this being more than an inch for most. Excuse me, a long day of talking makes for a really tough noon show sometimes when you're getting over a cold. This pushes out of here, and then we'll get a decrease in cloud cover, and then we'll have some sunshine the second half of Wednesday. But with that snow is with a cold front, and that's what's going to keep our temperatures slightly cooler tomorrow. So look for 20s and 30s tomorrow, as opposed to 30s and 40s that we're seeing for today. So here's the snow forecast across the state. A trace to an inch or so max at this point. Some areas actually could even get missed when it comes to the snow. So this is not a high precipitation event at all, but it could be a little slick for some tomorrow morning. Here's the Dickinson 3-day, around 30 there on Wednesday, back to around 40 on Thursday. Same for Williston. We're warming up on Thursday. We'll see that temperature rise to around 40. And the good news here is I don't actually see any Arctic air outbreaks in the future, in the near future here. We're back to more seasonable and, in fact, a little above average as we head into next week. Low 40s for the weekend. That's Minot. Here's your Bismarck forecast. Kind of a quiet forecast. Small chances for precipitation. Could still see a few lingering snow showers tomorrow morning. And the next system over the weekend, Alicia, could bring us maybe a little bit of a wintry mix on the weekend, but temperatures look to stay in the 40s.
All right. Thank you, Amber. And as you just heard it, the cold is setting in, and it's hard not to think about what the winter holiday is just around the corner. So with that in mind, we're diving deep into the wonderful world of tree toppers in this week's edition of Plant Talk.
One of the most popular holiday decorations we sell at Plant Perfect are tree toppers or spruce tips. Let's take a look at how one of those go together. Now, there's two main options how most people use their toppers. You can buy bundles, take them, and you're going to put them in some of your old flower pots, or you can start from scratch and make something where you'll decorate it up in holiday theme. The 2 to 3 foot size is probably our most common size. When we make them, we just go for uniformity. There you go. That's something for your front porch. Some of our customers, they leave them bare, and it's just a nice evergreen accent. You get some of that Christmas scent. You also have the option, you know, you can put many different types of red dogwood twigs in there. Here we've got eucalyptus. We've got a wide variety of bow type ribbon to choose from. We can actually make custom bows when we're preparing these. And some of these other large pine cones and pine make a great addition as well. There's so many great options for decorating. Have fun this season, and we hope to see you soon. Thanks for watching Plant Talk. We'll see you again next time.
You can find Plant Talk on our website at kxnet.com. And stay with us. We have more on the road to recovery as KX News at Noon continues.
KX Cam, brought to you by Swenson RV and Marine. Check out our best-selling nitro fiberglass boats, tracker boats, and pontoons.
It's Truck Month in the Northland, where we take on every tough job, any rough terrain. And no matter what comes our way, we keep on trucking. Yeah, we're tougher up here. And there's only one brand of truck built to keep up. During Truck Month, get up to $9,250 cash back on a Ford F-150 or lease F-150 for just $299 a month. Only at your local Northland Ford dealer.
Hi, I'm Nicole Barnett, and I'm a Thrifty White pharmacist. Medicare Part D is a prescription drug coverage that helps pay for medications prescribed by your doctor. Open enrollment season is from October 15th through December 7th, so it's time to review your options and choose the plan that's right for you. Annual plan review is important as your plan can change and may no longer meet your needs. Whether you are a new or existing Thrifty White customer, our pharmacists are always available to help you with your Medicare Part D enrollment and planning.
At Papa Murphy's, get your hands on something amazing. Right now, get the new Zesty Pep for $12 with giant pepperoni, sausage, and the zing of banana peppers. Everything's better with a little zing. We make it, you bake it, Papa Murphy's.
Honestly, they always try to teach you everything in school, and you're like, yeah, I get it. And then you actually get to real life, and you have no idea what you're doing. I had just received a trust, and I was feeling overwhelmed. Jodelle was assigned as my trust advisor, and so she helped me through everything right away, and then we just kind of clicked. She feels like family, and like we go out to lunch together. It's great. I love her.
What are we thinking?
I'll have a steak.
Great. How do you like it?
Without having to dress up all fancy. With a couple sides included. And at a good price.
So...
medium rare.
Got it.
For a limited time, try our new top sirloin steak dinner, steak and eggs, steak quesadilla, and more, starting at just $7.99 for a limited time only at Perkins. Nothing sweetens the season like a fresh-baked pie from Perkins Holiday Bake Shop. Reserve yours today.
Rock chip repair to full windshield replacement. The experts at Jake's Auto Glass offer guaranteed service for all makes and models of vehicles. Plus, we gladly accept all insurance payments, getting you back on the road with a clear view. Take your brakes to Jake's.
In KX News, putting North Dakota first.
And welcome back. Addiction is far-reaching, going beyond the person struggling with the disease. Family and friends are often left riddled with emotion and frustration as they watch their loved one fight the grip of addiction. And while you can't make your loved one stop drinking or using drugs, there is support to help you play a positive role in the family. It's Al-Anon. Now, this group helps the families of people struggling with addiction, and you may feel neglected and unloved and wonder how you can support them but not enable them. Now, Al-Anon teaches you how to cope with the challenges of someone else's drinking or drug abuse by listening to others going through similar situations. Now, to find an Al-Anon group near you, you can visit our website at kxnet.com for that link. And still to come on KX News.
Yeah, Alicia, I'm here at the Recovery Resources Expo at Recovery Reinvented, where there are all sorts of resources for people of all walks of life. James Konopik is here to talk about Narcan and how it's being distributed all throughout North Dakota. That's in just a couple minutes. Stay with us.
KX Sports keeps the action going after the whistle. Your weekly sports wrap-up show, Sunday nights at 10:35, right here on KX. Mom says her daughter
How many seconds do we have left?
is a hot mess.
You got fired for falling asleep on the lifeguard stand.
Yeah, I did.
You ought to have the world on a string. And instead, you got a smart mouth and a lazy ass.
All new Dr. Phil. Weekdays at 4 on KX.
Hurry into Menards to get 11% off soft new carpet.
Or get 11% off a sleek new shower.
Why not shake things up and get 11% off paint?
Customize with the Clearview Kitchen and get 11% off.
Deck the halls and save 11% off everything in the Enchanted Forest. No matter what you're working on, you'll get 11% off right now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
I like to hang out with a lot of people. It's really awesome company.
I click garbage every offices. Monday was my cooking day.
My staff play card games with me. I usually win. My staff are always there to cheer me on.
Be rewarded where you work. Apply at HIT today.
Coverage where you explore. Coverage where you play. Coverage where you live. With Sanford Health Plan, you get access to the highest quality care, affordable plans, and a team dedicated to helping you understand health insurance. Live life covered. Speak with your local agent or visit sanfordhealthplan.com.
More than 68,000 North Dakotans care for a parent, spouse, or other loved one, helping them live independently at home. Now, a new law called the CARE Act supports these family caregivers. This law ensures that hospitals identify and involve the patient's family caregiver throughout their stay, and that hospitals provide instructions for aftercare tasks like injections and wound care that the caregiver will perform at home. To learn more, visit kxnet.com/caregiving.
Sponsored by AARP North Dakota.
KX News, putting North Dakota first.
Welcome back to KX News at noon. We're live at Recovery Reinvented, the third annual here at the Bismarck Event Center. And if it looks quiet around here, that's because there's a packed house right next door in the room next to us for one of the keynote speakers. But I'm on the Recovery Resources Expo here with James Konopik. James, thanks for being here.
Thanks.
James is with the North Dakota Behavioral Health Division, and what we want to talk about today is a huge asset for people in the throes of their addiction, and that's Narcan. Tell us what that is.
So Narcan is a medication that can actually stop an opioid overdose and save people's lives. So Narcan is something that can really just be beneficial to anybody who is at risk of an opioid overdose, and that could be somebody who has an opioid use disorder, that could be people who take opioid medications, that could even be children who could potentially get into an opioid prescription by accident.
Now, a few years ago, we started hearing more and more stories of law enforcement maybe saving the life of someone who was overdosing with the use of Narcan. And that's partly because your behavioral health division is working to make sure that a lot of agencies around the state have access to it, right?
That's right. Yeah, right now we are attempting to distribute as much Narcan as we can across the state. Right now we're working really closely with local public health units to distribute Narcan, and then we're also distributing it at events like this. So today we're hoping that we will be able to distribute about 1,000 units of Narcan today at the end of the event.
Wow, 1,000 units of Narcan. And this is a fairly new medication, right? It's sort of new on the scene?
Yeah, so I can't tell you exactly when it came out, but in North Dakota, the Behavioral Health Division has started distributing Narcan back in 2017. So we've been distributing it for about the last 2 years or so.
And what have you heard from agencies that you're supplying Narcan with?
So we do have a lot of agencies that are reaching back out to us to get more Narcan. A lot of the Narcan that we're distributing is actually being administered. And to date, we do know that there are people who have had their lives saved by having Narcan available in North Dakota.
So you're actively saving the lives of North Dakotans thanks to Narcan. This is a practice that the Health Division is going to keep doing, I assume, right?
Yeah, so the Behavioral Health Division, we have federal funding right now that started in 2017, and we know for sure we have funding through 2020 to continue to distribute Narcan as much as we possibly can throughout the state.
Okay, that's James Konopik with the North Dakota Behavioral Health Division talking about one of the life-saving tools that we have in our state now. That's Narcan. James, thank you so much for your time. It's just about lunchtime here at Recovery Reinvented, so we're going to throw it back to you, Alicia.
All right, so much going on there. Thank you so much, Tim, for that update, and we'll keep you updated as the day progresses. And to get outside today, Amber, a little chilly.
Yeah, it is chilly, but, you know, we're talking a 20-degree swing in daytime highs between yesterday and today. But then we've got a chance for snow tonight. So today, cloudy skies, maybe a few flurries and quick little light snow showers in the north that are really having a tough time being picked up on the models, but it's certainly a possibility. But most of that snow will move in overnight tonight and into early tomorrow morning, and that's not going to be a ton. We're talking maybe a trace to an inch at this point for some, and you'll potentially get missed by some of those snow showers. Temperatures look to rebound back to the 40s for the end of the work week.
All right, and there's no one-size-fits-all solution to overcoming addiction. Join us tonight at 5, and we'll have the details on how you can with much more as we continue our coverage on the road to recovery.